That kind of nerd. Let's start the show with comics, movies, and technology. Here we go, bringing you the segments that you're looking for, like Cape Talk, Screen to Stream, Tech Perspective, and more. Cast this nerd degree and the blockbuster. Welcome to the club, 'cause you're that kind of nerd.
Welcome everyone to That Kind of Nerds podcast, a show that tells you what is going on in the nerdy world. I'm Josh Burns, joined by CJ Mellon and Brian Thornton.
I have a seltzer standing by for my terrible throat.
CJ
I
has
even like how you introduce me.
CJ has a cold apparently, and is incapable of moderating. So you fools are stuck with me this week. I'll be at the helm, which probably means this will be a giant shit show.
It's going to be the best ever. I'm so excited.
Watch, it's going to be better. It's going to be better than me doing it.
Because I listen to CJ all the goddamn time. I don't want to listen to CJ.
I barely get by with this thing. I got foggy brain today.
You are the Barry White of this podcast, man. That tone of voice.
Yeah,
it's just perfect.
That's what it is. Well, listen, we have a ton of varied topics to go through today, but we're going to start with our segment called Screen to Stream, and Netflix signs a near $400 million deal for Knives Out 2 and 3. Am I reading this right?
Yes, you are, Josh. And I, for one, am excited. I enjoyed Knives Out. I think we all enjoyed Knives Out, did we not?
Nah.
Yeah. Yes. It was,
Did CJ just go, meh? You're the worst. You're even worse when you're not feeling well.
I went meh. I did not enjoy Knives Out as much as everybody else did.
You are the worst, Burr.
This was not my movie.
All right, tell me why.
I highly enjoyed it.
Tell me why.
Tell me why.
No.
Oh man,
You're still the worst.
I know I am. I don't know. I felt like I gotta. It's for petty reasons that don't really matter. I felt like I got a bait and switch on the movie, and I didn't enjoy the ride that we got taken on. So
Okay.
yeah, that was it.
You didn't
surprise
enjoy Daniel
surprise.
Craig's character.
I didn't enjoy Ryan Johnson subverting my expectations. Oh my god, surprise! But that's what he does, and I should have known better as an audience member.
You didn't enjoy Daniel Craig's character.
Daniel Craig as Foghorn Leghorn.
No, I didn't. Foghorn Leghorn. No, I did not enjoy.
I thought he was great.
I did, and
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy the girl who throws up when she lies. Like I thought that was stupid.
Oh, she's great too.
And
This
then
could be a whole like Pink Panther-esque series of
Jamie
just,
Lee Curtis not pitching any yogurt to me. I mean, I just feel like a waste opportunity.
well, you know what? You should watch the new Halloween movie. I hear it's very yogurt heavy.
It's good. It was a fine movie, but I did not enjoy the way everybody else did. I do not need a second and third Foghorn Leghorn mystery drama.
I think my kids have watched it about 100 times.
Kids have watched this movie?
Oh, they love it. They absolutely
Because
love
it's good. Your kids have good taste.
Yeah, they love it. I thought it was incredibly well done for what it. I guess I just don't see what you're spending $200 million per on. Like it's
The cast.
no. Oh, well, okay, but like not based on the first movie, right? I mean,
The first movie had a pretty stacked cast.
it's
Jamie Lee
no.
Curtis, Christopher Plummer, Chris Evans, Ana de Armas, like
Right, it's right. So
all big ticket people.
Daniel Craig and Chris Evans, yes,
and Don Johnson.
but like
I'm not saying he's big ticket. I'm just saying
the
he
rest
was
of
in
them are not big ticket anymore.
it.
And Ana de Armas
Michael
never
Shannon's
was.
still pretty good. Ana de Armas is on the rise. She absolutely
at
is.
the time of that movie, though, Jamie Lee Curtis was kind of having a renaissance again because Halloween was already in the works and stuff like that. So I know she cost a pretty penny.
I like the other. Who's the other? Like the other female. She was the weird one.
I can't remember her name.
By the way, the weird one doesn't nail down any character. in a
No, I
Ryan
know
Johnson
exactly
movie.
who you're talking about. Let me look it up because I feel bad because I don't remember her name. She was on Big Bang. She was on.
But Josh, I'm with you on this on the money part, right? The first film cost $40 million.
Right, and kind of, that's where I'm at with it. Is I don't understand how they could go from like Toni Collette is, and I can't believe I couldn't remember her name. Toni Collette, I think, is bigger at this point than any of the other females that were in that first one.
Oh, that's not the weird one I was thinking of. But okay.
All right. Well, her character was weird. She was hippy dippy. She was weird.
Okay.
She's always juicing things.
So here's the thing, though. As we watch the Knives Out 2 and 3, Josh, as usual, eloquently put it out in our chat. The only thing we have to look for is who's using the Android phone, and the mystery is solved.
Who doesn't have an Apple device?
Because Apple won't allow villains to use their products.
Yeah,
I'm sure a smart filmmaker like Ryan Johnson knows that he said that in an interview. So I doubt that'll be the thing.
That's not going to be a thing anymore. Look, I thought this was impossible to figure out just watching it.
I loved the first one, but and I loved the character, and I am all about giving more stories. You know, there like back in the 90s, like there was like a mystery show or movie or like Kiss the Girls and Along Came a Spider, and like it was all the time. Like I miss those movies, and this was a nice return to form to those movies. And you know what? 200 mil, you know what? Maybe it all doesn't go to the cast, but maybe they do more locations. Maybe they do more exotic, like, you know, Murder on the Orient Express type locations.
And listen, I'm with you. I love the way the story unfolded, because it wasn't like the whodunit has gone away, right? I mean, that type of movie has gone away. And the only time you get a whodunit, it's got a thriller / horror feel. So I agree. I really like bringing this style of movie back, but I also really liked that it was a closed set. You know what I mean? It was really one main location, and then maybe two or three satellite locations they did in this movie.
Sure.
I mean, to go 10x, Brian, that's a big jump, and like a lot of room to screw up.
I mean, yes, but also, I mean, if Netflix has got the money and I get to watch it for free, and that's like, you know what, I mean, there's always like there's room to screw up for a $4 movie. Like it's I don't know. I just don't see this as too much money to spend on a viable franchise. I see this as a wise investment on Netflix part.
All right. Well, I'm not going to argue wise investment. But speaking of screwing up, CW is going to have a live action Powerpuff Girls.
That
was a segue worthy of CJ.
Are so much better. God damn, I'm watching out for my job security on this now. You guys never needed me to begin with. My wife had sent me the synopsis for this. I read the synopsis as well. Starring so the adventures of Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup, who used to be America's pint-sized superheroes, and now they're they're disillusioned 20-somethings who resent having lost their childhood to crime fightings. True. Will they agree to reunite now that the world needs them more than ever? So they used to be kids. They felt like they lost their childhood because they had to fight crime, and they're kind of a little bit of a dick, and now they have to go fight crime again. Donald Faison's Professor Utonium. So yeah, sure, okay.
Did you guys enjoy the Fairly Odd Parents show?
Yes.
The cartoon?
The cartoon.
Yes. Right? Very good cartoon. And by the way, I liked Powerpuff Girls. We watched when the kids were young, we watched Powerpuff Girls. But the Fairly Odd Parents movie, no. Like the Grow Up Timmy Turner movie, nope.
It was not. There was a live action Fairly Odd Parents movie?
Yep.
There's another one coming. So.
And there's it was not good.
No.
And so like I have serious issues with making this franchise live action. Like I wouldn't want to watch Dexter's Laboratory or Phineas and Ferb live action either. I think they're so good as an animated series.
Yeah, it's not even just live action for me. It is the concept. So what we're going to take this, I don't want to say innocent, but like nice, like cartoon about children's superheroes, and we're going to make them cynical and angry and hate everything because they lost their childhood. I don't know if I'm really on board for that.
And how do you do it without ruining the wholesomeness of the original?
Right. Well, it's the Riverdale formula that has worked so well for CW because Riverdale is good and is successful. Let's take these, young teenager characters, let's age them up a little bit and make them, angsty and dark and gritty and, That's the Riverdale formula.
Brian, I'm glad you said the words dark and gritty because I just looked up. April 20th, 2015 is when our episode Dark and Gritty came out, and it's exactly full circle what we're doing. Just dark and gritty, dark and gritty. Find a property, make it dark and gritty, and the CW will put it on TV.
I'm sorry, CJ. You're sick. You shouldn't be talking. I mean, I could say that just in general because you should never be talking.
That's very
true. That's a nice little factoid. Thank you. You're like the pop-up video of this podcast. And if you laughed at that, you're showing your age.
Love me some VH1. So when is this
It's filming now, so I'm assuming it's going to be ready for the 2022 fall season. Not 2022. I'm sorry, 2021.
Assuming production doesn't shut down because of something stupid.
And you know what? I know I just kind of ragged on it, but I'll give it a try. Who knows? Maybe it'll turn out to be something interesting. I just don't want it to be Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup like all screaming at each other like, we never had a childhood. Oh my goodness. And then they hate their dad and like I don't want that.
From the set photo too, it looks like that Professor Utonium is married to the mayor's assistant also. I forget her name.
The who?
The mayor's secretary?
Miss Vellum.
Miss
Vellum. Remember the redheaded woman that they never showed her face?
That they never showed her face? So are we going to get to see her face in this?
Well, it looks like it. She's standing right next to Donald Faison.
All right. So we have what? Somebody from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. We have Liv and Maddie. And who's...
I believe the one playing Blossom from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I believe her name is Chloe Bennett.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. We have her and we have Liv and Maddie as Blossom and Bubbles. And Buttercup is somebody I've never heard of ever.
And Mojo Jojo will be the CW's flash budget for King Shark. Will appear once every 3 episodes if needed.
That's fine. Mojo Jojo. That's the other thing. Like, all of their villains were very they were cartoony for a reason, right? You had a talking monkey, you had the devil, like all of that's going to involve CGI. Like I don't know how much they're going to throw at this.
I'd love to see the woke CW's take on him. The man started to only use pronouns at one point. I'd love to see what they're going to do with him.
Right.
All right. The voice of SpongeBob is going to narrate. Not obviously not SpongeBob, but Tom Kenny. Tom Kenny is going to narrate Powerpuff.
Right on.
All right. Well, go nuts. I'm not likely to watch. All right, CJ, are you watching this?
I owe Donald Faison a lot of joy in my life, so yes, I have to pay his residual checks.
Contractually obligated. Brian?
Yeah, I'm going to check it out. I may not stick with it, but I'll definitely check it out.
Okay. All right. Well, moving on to other things I hate. Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Yes.
Is we've gotten a trailer
Josh
for
with the tight segues.
Segues are on point, man. I'm really worried.
Yeah. So listen, I got to take a back seat on this because I don't understand how you're going to make a movie with a guy who loses more championships than he wins. And I'm just going to say he probably is never getting his son back based on his professional career. But, go ahead, guys.
I'm sorry, Josh. Do you not want to slam?
I don't.
Because you could come to the jam. I will teach you to slam.
I know. But if Michael Jordan's not there, I probably don't want to be involved.
See, Michael Jordan is not exclusive for slamming. You can slam at the jam all you want, whenever you want.
So Warner Brothers opened up the fucking floodgates with flooding this with IP, right? Like everything that they possibly own is there.
Including some things that should not be in there.
Yeah, Clockwork Orange has no business being in Space Jam.
They didn't just... This isn't just, hey, here's all of our IP. I love this because it is truly Space Jam at what it was at its core, which is just commercial advertising bullshit. This is a hour-and-a-half advertisement for HBO Max, and I love it. They're in the serververse. This takes place in the HBO Max servers. What?
Which means, if you think about this, if you really want to get crazy on this, Josh and Brian, if they're in the servers of Warner Brothers and they're doing Space Jam, that means that Space Jam is in the Warner Brothers servers.
So do we get another Michael Jordan in there? Maybe do we get young Michael Jordan in it?
Do we get a Michael Jordan and a Bill Murray cameo? Yeah. Do we get? I'm sure Bill. You call that hotline and Bill Murray maybe.
yeah,
answers
I
the phone.
doubt.
Yeah.
I doubt Bill Murray listened to his voicemail. I was like, oh yeah, I totally got time for this. I mean, I don't know how they got him for the first one. They probably got him for the first one because of like, Michael Jordan will sign something for you. Like, I don't see him coming back.
Yeah. So the door is open for Michael Jordan to make a cameo, even if it's a cartoon Michael Jordan, because that happened once. To do, I don't know. Listen, I watched this trailer and I was like, God, this looks terrible,
Yes.
and I can't wait to watch it because that's what's so good about Space Jam.
That's
Because
not
you
the
want to hate
reaction.
it, but it's so bad it becomes good again.
No.
I need you all to understand. I'm excited for this film. As whatever bad things I have said or will say about this movie, I am excited to see this film for pure nostalgia reasons.
Mhm.
I played this trailer for my wife,
My wife.
and this is just how perfect she is, just as a human being, not just how perfect she is for me. Because we watched it, and like, she never says these words to me, but she says to me, "Can we go to the theater to see this?" And I was like, "Yes, we can." She is just as excited as I am.
That sounds like it's a wasted afternoon is what that is.
Sounds fantastic.
You're telling me now? Listen, Josh. I know your kids are mini used at some point, but they also have your streak of rebellion. You're telling me they're
yes.
not going to say, "Hey, Dad, I'm going to go watch Space Jam," and you're not going to sit down and fall asleep while it's on. Like you're not. This is going to be in your house, and you're going to avoid it.
I mean, if they want to watch it, great. There's a whole, now that the basement's finished, there's a whole lot of different TVs they could watch it on. And I can not watch it. You know what I mean? I can be in another room and watching baseball, or documentaries about World War II, because that's what I do now.
That's what dads do. Oh my
That's
God,
right.
you've reached that pedantical point. All right.
I'm a dad. Yeah.
I just want you to know there's no game show or World War II quiz coming, but you're preparing like there is one, and I don't know
That's right.
why. But I have to figure out a way now to make this to make this a podcast requirement. So
One
you have to watch
day,
it.
War of the Worlds will happen, and the only thing that will save us is knowledge of World War II.
It's like the ghost of Alex Trebek comes back and he goes, "I'm just going to nuke the world." But Josh Burns, can you tell me about World War II a little bit?
That's right.
And just see how far you can get. All right.
That's right.
But listen, dude, Space Jam. Like I make you bet the listeners listening to this show love Space Jam. I don't think we're going to get any of them with bad mouthing Space Jam. Not a single one.
Well, I hope you enjoy it very much, and watching either on HBO Max or in the theater. If you're going to watch it on HBO Max, you may also enjoy what Brian has called Die Hard in a Burning Forest.
I did call it that, and it is.
This Angelina Jolie movie, Those Who Wish Me Dead, where I believe the premise is she makes the mistake and she reads the winds wrong, and her whole firefighting
That ruins her
department,
career. Right, yeah.
gets killed, and her career is in shambles. But now there's a child running through a forest, and she's got to save him, and somehow the forest gets lit on fire.
It's the one line from Indiana Jones where he goes, "It had to be snakes," right? And it's that, but fire.
Right.
She could do this, no problem, but there had to be fire, right? Even though she's just a firefighter and does not have the skills to battle people with automatic weapons, but sure.
Right. And she's up against Littlefinger and who?
Nicholas Holt played Beast.
Yeah,
in the
Nicholas
first Fast
Holt.
film.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and no, I don't see how she makes it out of this alive. But
That's the thing. She's not good. That is my bet. Just she doesn't make this out of this alive. She's so racked with the guilt of having all those firefighters die and misreading the stuff that she eventually takes down the villains and sacrifices herself through misdirecting them through fire and saves the kid.
Now
That's how
the
this
kid's
movie
in the
ends.
middle of nowhere with no help.
Well, no, yeah. And he
He's
just
got
watched.
John Bernthal.
And he just yeah,
He's
exactly.
there.
The John Bernthal comes in to save the day, but 3 people burn in a fire.
Yeah.
I forgot John Bernthal was in it.
Listen, and as such, you are also contractually obligated to watch
I am
this.
contractually obligated now that I've been reminded John Bernthal's in the movie. I have to watch it.
I do want to explain my Die Hard in a Burning Forest comment, and I'm just going to say that any situation where insert person here is fighting against terrorists or bank robbers or what have you, bad dudes in a secluded location where no help is coming, that's Die Hard. In whatever.
All right. It doesn't seem, I understand what you're saying. But that seems much more a Steven Seagal thing than a Die Hard thing. Like Die Hard, there's a much better story, right? You're talking about Under Siege is not Die Hard on a boat.
It kind of is.
It's not.
But it kind of is.
It's not, because we don't know anything about the character other than he's a loner. He, blah, 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 blah. She has whatever training she has, but like, there's no family story. She's not fighting to protect her.
She's fighting to protect this child,
but not her child, and not her wife, who's been taken hostage by Hans Gruber. Right? It's just not Die Hard. It's Fire Down Below. It's Under Siege.
So I watched this trailer with my wife. Right? I didn't watch this alone, and I said, okay, I need your honest opinion on this. Is this garbage or is this good? Right? Like, what is this? And I think we both agree, garbage.
Yeah, it doesn't look good.
This is a pass.
Is it free? Is it free to stream?
It's HBO Max.
Okay,
HBO
cool.
Max.
I'll watch it.
Right? Why not? I'll give it a shot.
I watched Justice League at this point. Anything's on the table.
All right, Segway King, what do you got up your sleeve for this one?
So we talked about HBO Max and their infinite wisdom creating things that are one big cash grab in advertising, right? Netflix is doing the same thing with rights to Sony movies, including upcoming Spider-Man film, saying, please don't leave. We have new things for you.
That's exactly what it is, though. It's not even just new things. It's like we have some IP now.
That's right.
Because they lost everything.
We have something to offer.
Right. With the dawn of Disney Plus and HBO Max, they have nothing. You know what Netflix has? They have the market on cheesy romantic comedies. And that's it right now, especially with the fact that like everything got put on hold, like no Stranger Things until probably in another year or so. And then after Stranger Things is done, then what? What's their next big show where they don't have it? So like they're grasping for something to keep people from saying, why am I paying $18 a month for this when everything that I could possibly want is on Disney Plus and HBO Max, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think there's still a good deal of content on Netflix. I think especially when it comes to like documentary series, things like that. Netflix has an amazing amount of content, as well as what did I just start watching? Oh, American Horror Story, and I'm hooked. I'm absolutely hooked.
That's a show I've been meaning to get into.
And I went, seasons 1, 2, 3, and then I got to 4 and I went, nope. For like first 5 minutes of season 4, there's like a creepy killer clown. Nope.
I was gonna say it's the circus
nice.
one. Yeah.
I'm out. And I went directly into season 5. So it's a really great show. And I think one of the things that Netflix, even though it's not a Netflix original, does well is grab things that people want to see. This is stuff that people want to see. People have to watch Spider-Man. And since it's not going to be on HBO Max, right?
I'm really glad you brought that up. And I'm doing this right now. Here's the thing, though. We could talk all day about Spider-Man. We get it. Everybody loves Spider-Man. What else can you tell me that Sony has done that is a huge grab for Netflix for this?
Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, the Lorax movies. I'm trying to think what else was Sony Animation.
I'll give you Ghostbusters, and that's all I can think of.
Yeah, I think we did this when we talked about what does Sony actually have. The answer was, besides James Bond, not a lot.
Uncharted,
Men in Black.
They also have Jumanji.
Jumanji, Men in Black, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, and what else? That's about it, right?
I mean, Josh did astutely point out that they're coming out with an Uncharted film. But yeah.
They have the Olympus movies you love so much, CJ.
I do love, except for the last one. It's such a pile of crap.
Aren't they?
I'm looking at Sony's.
Aren't they Rocky too? Don't they have the Rocky franchise?
I don't believe so, but I'll double check because I'm looking at the box office performance for Sony's over the past couple years. So like the top earning movies from specifically Sony. So in 2019, it was Spider-Man: Far From Home, Jumanji: The Next Level, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Men in Black International were the top 4. 3 franchises that we've already mentioned. The year before that, Jumanji, Venom, Hotel Transylvania, I guess, if they decide to ever make another one.
Oh, they have James Bond.
Yeah.
They have Bond, yeah. When we get a Bond movie, once every 3 or 4 years?
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter. How often do you get a Spider-Man movie?
Once every 2 years. Well, no, I get a Spider-Man movie once every 2 years, and now with Morbius and Venom, I'm probably getting one once a year.
I know, but you're saying that Sony hasn't done much, and I just disagree.
I'm saying they don't have a ton of IP. I'm not saying they haven't done much. They do a lot. I'm saying they don't have a ton of IP.
In the last 20 years, they have a good deal of series.
Resident Evil. I guess that's another thing that'll help out is they're doing the new Resident Evil movies.
They have the Terminator. They have Karate Kid.
So this is just Netflix getting first pick, though. So if they don't like something, it goes to Crackle or goes to wherever the hell else they want to go. But Netflix gets first pick. So I get you're bringing up the fact that they don't have a ton of IP. What's the...
I guess my point is, like, did they just buy Spider-Man? Is that all they're looking to get?
Yeah. They don't, because they're losing Disney Plus content, right? Not ABC and Disney's not giving them shit anymore. I think we've all agreed, with the exception of the rom-coms, Netflix movies pretty bad. So at least get some kind of tentpole stuff in there. Put know that Men in Black gets to stay there.
I have not agreed to that. I have not agreed to that statement. Like, I think the old guard for me, it stands above all the other action movies they've done, but I thought it was very good.
That is a good movie, right? The Old Guard, in the sense of Netflix movies. It is probably in the top echelon. But what was that one with Chris Hemsworth? Did anybody even watch that? Extraction?
I did.
Extraction.
Did you like it?
It was all right. It was fine.
It was fine, right? Again, what was the time a Netflix original
and Six
movie
Underground was fine.
blew you away?
I didn't see Six Underground. I'd like to, though.
When was the last time a Netflix original movie blew you away that wasn't a rom-com?
I just said The Old Guard, and that was 2 years ago.
Wait, when's the last time a rom-com blew you away, CJ?
Always Be My Maybe blew me away.
Always Be My Maybe is fantastic. All right, I'll give you that.
Thank you. So I think this is as much as a win for Netflix as it is for Sony.
I'd say it was a bad idea.
I'm not saying that you said that either.
I'm just confused by, like, how much content they're going to get out of this deal. That's not Spider-Man.
Not a lot.
That's all I'm saying. They're not getting a ton of content out of this.
Yeah, it's a 5-year deal. Would be worth several $100 million annually and more than $1 billion over the course of the agreement. So,
does this mean the end for things like Stars and Encore? And
I can't tell you the last time I watched Stars. Although,
that's what I'm saying.
Like, Stars had some good shows. They just need to move them to another service at this point.
Like, maybe, I don't know, let's say Netflix?
Yeah, again, I'd be fine with that. I don't care. Well, I don't care if it's Netflix or Hulu, or I don't care if HBO acquires them. I don't. I have all these services.
I feel like right now, again, I'll speak for myself. I haven't been blown away by any Netflix original stuff that isn't, again, documentary, rom-com, comedy, right? That I would be way okay of them gobbling up another company like Stars or Encore or whatever Sony's thing is, because they're not doing their own streaming service besides Crackle. And then just being the place that I go to do that, right? We just gobble it up and become the Amazon conglomerate of streaming, and then kill off these other things that nobody uses. So good luck to Netflix. I wish you all the best.
Well, listener, now's the time of the show where we like to check out what's going on in the world of comic books. How's it affecting the internet? How's it affecting you and me? Most importantly, how's it affecting Brian? It's time for Cape Talk.
Cape Talk.
Probably the most exciting things that we've seen this week are a few trailers. We want to talk about first the Black Widow trailer, which was it was pretty sick. Even though, like, Sheriff Dumpster Fire looks like an idiot in this trailer, I think the trailer was still pretty sick.
I love how much of an idiot he looks like in this trailer. It's great. I like the way they set up this trailer a little bit, which was like, you don't know, like, you know my future, but you don't know my past, kind of thing. And they showed the clip of her throughout, Avengers and Iron Man, and then of course the falling off the cliff in Endgame, and then kind of tying it back to this old story, which looks like basically the last thing she did before Endgame and Infinity War kind of started. And Florence Pugh, I love her. She's fantastic.
She's really good.
I cannot wait for this. And Brian, this is when my wife and I looked at each other and said, looking at this release date, we'll both be vaccinated. Can we go to the movies, please? Like, I am going to go to a theater. I'm going to go to a theater to watch this.
I did that too. I might actually go to a theater and then also spend $30 on Disney Plus for it, just so I can watch it multiple times.
It'll be
What do you mean spend $30 on Disney Plus? What do you mean?
This is going to be Premier Access. So Disney Plus has been doing this thing where their top tier stuff so far has been Mulan and Raya the Last Dragon, but Cruella and Black Widow will fall under this category. You can stream them on Disney Plus, but you pay a one-time fee, $30, and you can stream it as much as you want, but it's just the one-time fee. It's called their Disney Plus Premier Access.
All right, so you pay $30 to unlock it, and then you have it.
Right. Well, you don't have it. It's not yours to own.
No, I know. I understand you don't own it, but it's on your app.
Right.
And it's not going away.
Watch it. Correct.
You're sure? You're sure it's not going away?
Yes, because I did this with Mulan. And eventually it becomes available for the peasants, like 6 months down the line.
Okay.
But for those 6 months,
not
you
waiting
have
for life
it,
like
and
peasants.
you can, you have it, and you can stream it.
Brian, is there anything of note in here? Anything that maybe the untrained eye might have missed in this trailer?
Not in this trailer. I just think they're trying to reignite some excitement for it since it's been a year and a half since the movie was supposed to be released. So 2 years since we've gotten the first trailer. No, nothing that I saw. But then again, I also was not examining it closely. I was too busy, jumping for joy because I just want to see this movie.
Yeah, Brian's not New Rockstars breaking down all the Easter eggs and things that you missed in this.
Yeah, and to be quite honest, like I don't think there was much in the ways of Easter eggs in this trailer. I just think it's just you get a little bit more of okay. Obviously, Taskmaster's working for the Red Room. You get a little bit of cooler action scenes, a little bit of the relationship between her and Yelena. And that's it. That's all I want. Like, just give me. You know what? I want this movie to end with Florence Pugh officially being in like the bigger picture because I do love her. I think she's fantastic.
Yeah.
Like joining in the future.
Yeah, either as a hero or as a villain. Because I mean, Yelena was not the best Black Widow in the comic books.
This better end with her being at the Avengers headquarters afterwards, and then I see her in every movie moving forward. But a man can dream.
Well, speaking of generating excitement and also burying the lead, we got a trailer for Loki on Disney Plus, and this looks insane.
This looks wonderful. This is where you should be looking for Easter eggs, which I did not. I saw one scene that looked a little funny, but this looks just so much fun. This looks like Marvel's version of Doctor Who.
It does.
How great is that?
That's what this reminded me of. It's like Time Cop Doctor Who with Loki.
He's going to be jumping between multiple worlds and timelines.
Owen Wilson's going to say, wow. Like, it's going to be a good... Wow.
I think they do a really good job of somehow making Loki the funniest character in the Marvel universe. I'm not really sure how or why, but he seems to always have some of the funniest shit going on. In the trailer, the whole sign here to confirm this is everything you've ever said. Right? This is absurd. No, sign this too. Right? So like he's got some good humor.
My favorite thing was when Owen Wilson's sitting with him and goes, "Look, I know everything about you, right? I've literally watched you stab people in the back." Well, I promise not to do that anymore. Just
Right.
those little moments, and he's in a couple. His costume choices in this show is a little interesting. It's not as typical Loki. It's very kind of like Earth style Loki. And there's that one scene of him in some other world. He's wearing like that T-shirt and tie, and it reminded me of Constantine a little bit. I was like, they're going to put him in some fun situations. Like that guy is going to be in weird spots, and there seems to be this dark, shadowy, mysterious figure jumping through time and also causing some problems.
It's Mephisto.
Shut up.
So this trailer gave me a better idea of what this story is going to be. So yeah, I'm excited for it, and Owen Wilson actually looks really good in this too. So
how do they bring? I mean, they're obviously they're Kevin Feige. God love you. You're bringing all these things together, and I wonder how they're all going to connect, and it's driving me a little crazy.
I hope this doesn't impact the MCU too much. Am I crazy in thinking and hoping for that? That this really is just a what-if, one-off story? Another world story?
No, I think if it were a what-if, one-off story, it would be in the what-if show that is coming out. I think this show and WandaVision you're going to see show up in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness,
Right.
which is, when is that slated?
There's no other reason for Owen Wilson to say you stole the Tesseract and fractured reality.
The multiverse, yeah.
Right? I mean, so there's no reason for him to point that out if it wasn't going to be a thing later.
Yeah.
But Loki's
this
not
is going to come up again.
back, right?
Why couldn't he?
I'm asking.
What would make you say that?
He absolutely could.
He absolutely should.
Like just
He's not going to be Tom Hiddleston.
I can't believe.
Wait. Roll the tape back on that one. What?
No, let Josh talk.
No, you can't just drop that and just walk away from it.
Sure, I can.
Loki's
Yeah.
coming back, but it's not Tom Hiddleston?
Sure. Go ahead, Josh.
You don't think there'd be riots in the street?
In a multiverse, it could be anybody. But listen. I had this conversation with Christian. I don't know how long ago, but it was well, Loki's dead. He got choked out in Infinity War. I'm like, right. Except in Endgame, he stole the Tesseract that Tony and them were coming to get, and he vamoosed, which means theoretically he was somewhere else when Loki got choked out aboard the Asgardian rescue ship. Like, that Loki wasn't there. So Loki, he's not dead. Now, in a multiverse scenario, he could be whoever, right? I mean, we've seen that in Spider-Man. Could be whoever.
So you're telling me Nicolas Cage is coming back as Loki?
I think that's basically what Brian was saying.
I would love that.
I'm telling you, there's going to be a new actor playing Loki moving forward, and she will most likely be a big part of probably Doctor Strange, I would say.
Did you get a job in Hollywood and not tell us? What the hell just happened?
No, I just
Is there an
know.
NDA floating around, Josh? Do you see anything on his desk?
Listen. I've been wrong like 90% of the time. I just sound smart while I'm doing it. I'm just saying, in the comic book, Ragnarok is the end of the Norse gods, and in every single time it's happened, and it's happened at least twice that I can think of, the gods also get reincarnated in different ways. In one version, Loki came back as like a 13-year-old kid. In one version, Loki came back as a woman. I think because Ragnarok is already, most of the Asgardians are dead. And whatever is left is not much. I do think you're going to see some of these old Asgardian characters come back in different ways. Heimdall might come back in a different way, in a different body.
Idris Elba's definitely done with that role.
There is a scene in this trailer where he is sitting in what seems to be either eternity or what's the planet where they got the soul storm? Vormir. And the speculation is either he is talking to himself in a female form or he's talking to Black Widow. I don't know which one is true. My money's on he's talking to his future self as a female. But we'll see. When does this come out? April 5th?
Oh, so now I get your Doctor Who reference.
Yes.
So is that the dark, shadowy person that they're hunting down? This Loki variant that they mentioned in the trailer?
Quite possibly.
Jesus Christ, Brian.
Listen, it's a timey-wimey show. I don't have the answers. I have speculation that this show ends with Tom Hiddleston passing the mantle on to a new female version of Loki who will either have another season, which I don't know if that's another season of a show if this show will have another season, or she will show up in Doctor Strange.
No Thor, Love and Thunder?
Totally
Possibly.
cool with that either way. Yeah, I mean,
Possibly.
Oh, you've
don't see why not.
redecorated. I don't like it.
cool with it either way. And Loki it's the best trailer I've seen in a while. A lot of trailers lately, but this one is very good.
Then I really don't believe you watched the Space Jam trailer then.
Good God.
This is right after Falcon Winter Soldier, right? I don't have to wait too long for this.
It's right after.
This
So
is
this
April
is the next.
5th?
This is what I really liked right now about Disney
No,
Plus.
it's
Is
July 5th, right?
okay, so pretty close.
So we only have 2 more episodes of Falcon and Winter Soldier. That's going to end by the end of April. So you are going to have to wait a month, 2 months.
Whoa, there's not another show. There's not another show in between?
Not that I know.
This is what I liked about WandaVision into Falcon was like, yeah, I waited a couple weeks, right?
There was a week break between
1 week?
WandaVision
Okay.
and Falcon.
But now it's 2 months, so all right, I'll live with that. It's still better than the year.
Well, I
gap.
mean, in their defense, the original plan
Yeah.
was to end Falcon Winter Soldier, have Black Widow drop. You would have 2 months of getting money from Black Widow, and then Loki. And now with the decision to push Black Widow to also to Disney Plus as well, I'm assuming that's why they had to push back Black Widow to July. So I don't know. Now there's going to be a little bit of overlap. Maybe it would be smart if they pulled up Loki.
You
But
shut your
I don't know.
mouth.
I'm not Feige.
Don't push back
I can't
anymore.
make
of
those
this shit.
decisions.
If I don't get a
I didn't
constant...
say push back. I said pull up.
Pull forward.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say if I
don't.
don't have a constant flow of Marvel in my bloodstream, I think I shrivel up and die. So like,
It was a year. It hurt. Oh my gosh, it was painful.
All right. Well, you're about to get some new DC as well with
Oh, tell me more.
Batman: The Long Halloween Part 1, which it looks to be an HBO Max thing, right? Because DC,
It's one of their-
Warner Brothers Animation.
Yeah, it's Warner Brothers Animation. It's one of their straight to Blu-ray and straight to streaming
Yeah.
concepts and titles, like The Dark Knight Returns. They did Under the Red Hood,
Killing Joke.
Killing Joke. Also based on a well-known comic book that is very steeped in the Batman mythology. And this is one of my favorite Batman stories. I'm not gonna lie. This and besides probably like Killing Joke and The Dark Knight Returns, this is usually on like the top 5. I'm excited. It looks good. It's part 1, which is good. They needed to split this up into 2 movies because it's dense. But a lot of the stuff that you like about Christopher Nolan's Batman, the very not very detective, but very like street crime aspect of it, fighting the mob, that's all this. All pulled directly from this book. But what I really love about this story, and most of the time Jeff Loeb writes Batman, is we get to see him actually detect shit as the greatest detective. He's actually going to have to think through things and not just punch his way out of stuff. And so I'm excited. I think this is going to be great. I'm going to be watching it as soon as I can.
We're going to get Part 1 and Part 2 before the end of 2021 with some voices that are new to Batman and to animation, at least in this respect. Jensen Ackles as Batman, Troy Baker as Joker, and Troy Baker was the voice of Jason Todd in Arkham Knight, in the Arkham Knight video games, and he was Samuel Drake in Uncharted.
That's funny because Jensen Ackles was Jason Todd in Under the Red Hood.
Yeah, yes, that I did know. And
they're all just taking a step to the left.
Jack Quaid will have a role. Josh Duhamel as Harvey Dent. Titus Welliver as Carmine Falcone. So I mean, some solid voices that you'll recognize and some good actors. I just, not what I'm going to be, not what I'm used to.
This is, I think, also one of the final performances for Naya Rivera too.
Yeah, it is her final performance. I
Selena
believe.
Kyle, yeah.
So let me ask a question from the mall walker's perspective here, because unfortunately that's kind of what I am in this. I do not often indulge in the DC animated stuff that's out there. I know it's
You
superior.
should. It's much better than their live action
I
stuff.
agree. I know this is the superior in every way, and this is just
That's not an opinion. That's just
fact.
That is fact,
I have
yeah.
heard that through the nerd world. I do believe it. I just unfortunately haven't just given it the time.
Well, go to the DC hub in your HBO Max.
Have you not watched
And get
year
your shit
one?
together.
Like, I mean,
Nope.
have you? Let's start there.
Yeah. So that was my question. Is from the mall walker's perspective, where do you start with some of this? Can I just dive right into
Any
this,
of
or
them.
do I need?
Yeah.
You
That's what I'm
can.
asking.
They are. Listen, I mean, any of these are an entire story arc, so you can watch any of them and get all the information you need, and you need very little background on the characters. I would tell you always go to year one. It's one of my favorites. I think it's fucking fantastic. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it. And then things like Noelle, fantastic. Under the Red Hood. Gotham by Gaslight was fantastic.
Mhm.
That was actually really good. Like a Jack the Ripper story set in the 19th century type deal, CJ. It was very, very cool.
I just added Batman Year One to my streaming list on HBO Max, and that's the thing I think really need. And I don't think Warner Brothers does a good enough job with really kind of touting how well their DC animation is compared to, honestly, the live action DCU stuff, because that's a hot garbage mess. And this is like, I always have heard that the DC animation stories are great. I mean, just look at freaking the original Batman the Animated Series, just whooping ass out of anything that was on TV back then.
And it's not just these either. Like you need to watch the Flashpoint Paradox. You need to watch the Apocalypse Wars. Like the what they do.
The Justice League stuff is very good.
Justice League Dark with Constantine's fantastic.
Justice League Dark. The Constantine film is
Constantine film is excellent. The City of Demons, right?
City of Demons, yes. Yeah. But that's the difference between WB Animation and their DC division in there. And the live action stuff is because WB Animation has Bruce Timm. He is like got his hands in every single one of these things last time I checked. So he is the Kevin Feige of the animated DC stuff. And that's why they work so well. And they're also based on existing properties. Much like, the Marvel movies, for the most part, especially at the beginning, were based on Marvel stories that you could just pick up a book and get the same story beats out of them. It's the same thing here, and that's why they work so well. DC keeps on trying to reinvent the wheel instead of saying we've got literally 80 years worth of source material that we should be drawing on and just retelling these things in a new, different way. I'm not going to sit here and complain about Snyder and the Snyderverse and all this other bullshit. I did that last episode. My point is, Bruce Timm knows the character. He understands it. That's why from the moment he hit the scene with Batman animated series, it's why it's so good. And these movies are built like graphic novels. The idea is that you should be able to just pick up any one of these and enjoy them and not have to know the 80-year backstory of Batman to be able to enjoy a movie. So CJ, start with year one. You should, but you should be able to just pick one and watch it and get everything you need out of it, just like you would a comic book.
That's what we need. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You just provided a very good nerdy service. I said thank you.
In the last bit of superhero, what's coming out that's new, I don't know much about this. Jupiter's Legacy. I saw the trailer. I don't know anything about it. I don't know anything about the comic. Brian, can you help at all? Or
I cannot.
This is an Image comic, so
it's a Mark Millar Image comic. I have never read.
Okay.
It looks good. All I could tell you is what I've seen in the trailer. I haven't even read any think pieces on the book or anything.
I viewed the trailer as like it looks like a cool jumping off point. It's like a passing of the torch thing, right? Like it's the children of the first gen of superheroes taking over. Cool. I just don't know anything about the characters.
I got a small, just itty bitty tiny a feeling of like The Boys kind of thing with like this generation is a little bit more rock and roll and fuck you middle finger attitude than the old Donnie and Marie generation, although they seem to have their own fucking issues. But I like this. This look cool. Dark and gritty. Netflix. But this, to me, this read as Netflix's answer to The Boys. And I'm okay with that.
Well, I mean,
I didn't get that out of it.
I didn't get that out of it at all. But I mean, I will say Mark Millar is known for writing dark and gritty, raunchy, over the line material for the most part. I mean, we've all seen Kick-Ass. So, I mean, it's I wouldn't be surprised if it does that. But also remember, friggin' Netflix signed a deal with Millar. Like, what? We talked about that a year or more ago.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Well before The Boys hit Amazon. So I don't see this as Netflix's answer to The Boys. I see this as we spend a ton of money on all this Millar stuff. We better do something with it because I haven't seen. This is the first thing I'm seeing out of it. And out of that deal. So, and Millar's got a ton of stuff on the table. So, I mean, there's probably more to come.
So he's all right. So look, Mark Millar's got Wanted 2 announced, another Kingsman project. That's the TV series. That's going to be a Netflix thing, right?
I'm sure. Yeah, it's got to be.
And so obviously The King's Man, that's coming out soon.
Yeah, but that's also already spoken for. When Netflix acquired the Millar stuff, I think Kick-Ass and Kingsman were off the table because they were already acquired by another movie studio.
So it'll be the next thing I think that we'll see on Netflix then is Jupiter's Legacy and Super Crooks.
Okay.
Super Crooks will be an anime adaptation of the Mark Millar story.
Okay.
Neither have I, but it does say Netflix original. So I'm just like answering the question, what's next?
Cool.
That's next. The Magic Order is another Image comic. Another 5 families with magical abilities secretly rid the world of dangerous threats. So that looks to be a new. Netflix animation
grown-ups.
Kind of, yeah. It's if Harry Potter decided to come to the Muggle world and be superheroes is what it sounds like.
Which why wouldn't you do that?
I would totally watch that. And you know what? What's funny is that the show, Brian, that is opening my mind to watching some of these animated shows is Invincible, because man, is that
Invincible
good.
Is so good.
It is really good. And I watched that
because I know you were very anti-animation for a while.
But I watch that now with Christian every week. And then, generally we watch that together on a Thursday, and then Friday we have Falcon Winter Soldier, so on and so forth. But
that is so cute. That's my regimen. I watch Invincible Thursday nights, and I watch Falcon Winter Soldier in the morning.
Yes. So I'm open-minded to a lot more animation because of Invincible, and obviously I keep those things sort of in a separate category from DC animation because that's always been good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just food for thought. And back to the trailer. The trailer for Jupiter's Legacy was good. It just, I'm not sure how it'll land.
Yeah, it's a solid trailer. It looks like the wig budget could have been improved by another $300 in wigs. Really would have just set it apart.
Don't they look like the characters Loki had putting on a play?
Yeah, this was like a Spirit of Halloween, like generic superhero costumes. And oh, you want a Zeus wig? Yeah, here you go. That'll do. You'll be
best I could do as a Santa Claus here.
We can't say Zeus. You'll be lightning god, right? It's a little hokey, but I'll take it. I'll let it happen. I was okay with some of the costuming in Shazam. I'm okay with this.
Fair enough. Brian, final thoughts?
No, you got all of the thoughts. They're all mine. They're out there for you to consume and to agree or disagree with as you see fit.
These thoughts are solely the thoughts of Brian Thornton, not representative of the other 2 people that are on the spot.
All right, well, listener, that is our show for this episode. We thank you for sticking with us through my ridiculous moderation and CJ.
This was delightful.
Yeah, and CJ's sniffling and coughing into your ears. That was awesome.
That's been cut out. Don't worry.
Thank you for that. That's excellent.
Josh, on a completely unrelated note, would you like to set up another time where we can just, you and me talk about things?
Hey, hey there, whoa, hey. Whoa, hey there, whoa.
I can't.
Hey, whoa.
I can't moderate on a regular basis. It stifles my my ability just to shout whatever the fuck I feel like. So I will again thank the listeners for joining us this week, and we will see you on the next one.
Well, welcome to the club because you are that kind of nerd.
I transitioned, by the way, to Cape Talk without announcing.
I know you did. Don't think I didn't mentally note it. If you want to go back, now's your time to do it. I can put it in post.